Are we heading into a recession? Every time we turn on the TV, it says recession is coming, stock market down. But what is really happening? There's a lot of macro events affecting crypto. Does that mean that the crypto bull run is canceled? We had CPI data recently come in. We have inflation scores and we have the stock market crashing. What does all of this mean for crypto and what does it mean for your bags? We're going to get into all of that and more. I love you all. This is never financial advice. Let's get into Bitcoin before we dig into the data, guys. You know, a lot of people expected the hardcore resistance to come at $100,000, and it did. It came down to about 90, but then it shot up to 109, then made a slightly higher low at about 110. But since then, where are we? Bitcoin is down 23% today, a low of 30% down, yet fear and greed is at levels we haven't seen in a long time. You can see, look at this. Look at this. We hit the red. We hit the red minus 15% on fear and greed, guys. We're now at 25, as you can see. This is crazy, but what are the fears about? Are we heading into a recession? Well, the data and the betting odds over on Polymarket are saying not that it's probable of a recession, but it's more probable than it was 30 days ago. You could see we are from about 22% 30 days ago, and we're currently sitting at 42%. So what does this all mean? What are consumers doing? Are consumers buying? So we are a 70% GDP based off of consumers. What you buy, what your wife buys, what your husband buys, what everyone actually consumes. And because of that, if people think they might lose their job, they might be so slow to go buy that PlayStation, to go buy that extra barbecue kit. But what does that mean for crypto? If you are scared to go buy a barbecue pit, you probably aren't going to be degening into a random meme coin or maybe even a utility coin. So all of this comes to affect it. And what has hurt the market more than anything? Uncertainty, one word. And Trump economic advisor Kevin Hassett warns of more what? Uncertainty over tariffs. These are taxes on incoming goods. Well, it could be import or export, but in this case, it's actually imports coming into the country. They are being taxed. And you can see, I really think the president here is trying to play a game because if we look right here, inflation rate eased to 2.8%. So what do we really need? For the Fed to start changing everything, for the Fed to start injecting money into the economy, going from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing. Well, you need a few things. You need inflation to be low, okay? Because the Fed would rather see a recession than see inflation. And so with that low, inflation coming as better as expected, that is very good. The next thing that you want to see is assets hurting. Assets hurting. So you've got low inflation, you've got assets hurting. That's exactly what we see in the stock market. That's exactly what we see in the crypto market. But we've got to remember that crypto is a small slither in all of this, okay? When you look at Nvidia right here, it has a larger market cap than all of crypto. So we are just a byproduct of it. A lot of people say crypto's crashing. No. The market is crashing. The market is correcting. And crypto is just a small slither of that pie, even though you and I absolutely love it. And the next thing that we need is unemployment dropping a little bit. And all of that will come to inflation lower. And if unemployment drops a little bit, that means that consumers are able to buy less when we see this. And if people are scared over tariffs and people are also scared that we could be potentially going into a recession, all this leads into lower what? Inflation, guys. So this is a recipe for the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates. Not just cut interest rates, also potentially start quantitative easing, buying stuff themselves. Not just that, but injecting money into the economy. So what are the odds that this is going to happen tomorrow? Well, let's take a look at it. If we come over here to cmegroup.com, you'll see that the odds are very, very slim. 1% of a rate cut and 99% that rate stay the same. But is that a big deal? No. I personally do not expect the Fed to cut interest rates, but if Papa Jerome Powell gets up there and he gives a little hint that the money printer is going to stop, if he tells us that, hey, 4 rate cuts are coming this year, 3 rate cuts are coming this year, hey, we are going to start buying XYZ in June or July, we are going to start quantitative easing. then guess what? The markets are going to price that in, and that means everything is going to go up. But what about on the flip side? What if Jerome Powell says, hey, we are just going to watch the market, okay? The overall stock market and crypto just started tanking 2 weeks ago. This could be momentarily. We're not going to make any policy changes until then. Well, guess what? The markets are going to freak out because there is too much uncertainty with a recession, with tariffs, and with overall inflation. It was supposed to be 2.9. It came down to 2.8. But what does that mean for crypto? As we've seen at the low, Bitcoin was down 30%. What could we potentially see? How low could crypto go and still remain extremely bullish for the bull run? Well, let's look at the data. Let's look at it. I still think we remain bullish even if we drop a little bit. I think if we came down to last cycle's top, or most importantly, this top right here, if we came down to right here, okay, between right here and right here, I believe that we still remain bullish. So how much more downside would that mean for Bitcoin or the alts? We could come down another 10% from now to about 15% and stay bullish. But what don't we want to see? What is the sign that we are going to see a lot more downside? And even if Bitcoin just drops 30%, that could mean 60% of my alts. Are you hurting already? Oh my gosh, what I don't want to see. What I don't want to see, and what will be my sign to get out, is if we come test this trend line down here. So let's say we do this. Let's say we come down and we test this at 60. I do expect a bounce off of this, okay? I would expect us to come up and make a lower high right here, probably with large psychological resistance around 100,000. And then we would keep going down and probably reach some level around 30 or 40,000. Now, some people will say, hey, you would never reach that price. But hey, the same people say we would never reach, under 10 cents for Kaspa. They also said last cycle we would never reach 12,000, 15,000 for BTC, and it all happened. It all happened. So one thing that will humble you is the markets 100%. But if we can stay above this level right here, if we could stay above this one line that I have drawn with last cycle's high, I really think that'll be good. Anywhere in between 73,000 and 69,000. So what would that look like if we took these off the chart? If we took these off the chart, what we could have is very quickly a little bit of a lower low this correction cycle. And that wouldn't be the end of the world because we have a lot of volatility coming this week. So if we were to get that, that could look like this, that could look like this, and then we could keep moving up and going to the bull run because there's a lot of bullish things coming, okay? We have the most crypto pro legislation. We've got all kinds of real world utility coming for crypto, but how are your favorite altcoins holding up? If we take a look at Pepe, it's kind of over here in the DEAD zone, guys. If you take a look, this is the 1-year chart, and we are at levels that we only seen during this consolidation. We hit a high up here, we retraced it, we're all the way back to this. If you look at Kaspa, my favorite altcoin out of absolutely everything, you can see where we are sitting right now, and the level for this is right here. This is the same as BTC hitting 69,000 for me. When we take a look right here, this level right here at about 5 cents is very, very critical. A lot of people were waiting on that order and it never made it. People front ran it. But if we do go down there to the 4.5 cents or 5 cents, I could still see us being extremely bullish. But the fact of the matter is there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, guys, and I'm feeling it too. I'm not immune to it. My bags are down, but if you're lucky enough to stable up, guys, this could be the time to buy. None of this ever financial advice, but like Warren Buffett said, be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. But let me know, what do you think? Are we in a bull run or is the bear run just at the beginning? Watch this video up above, and if you're not a part of the Freeman of Finance family, what are we doing? Subscribe. I love you all.